As is usual with Thursdays, we share testimonies, which I believe are going to encourage you and also strengthen your faith. About 10 years ago, I'd gone into town to buy something, and I was crossing this street that is in between Koinange Street and Windibingu. I don't remember the exact name, but I was crossing from Barclays, that side where there's a Barclays Bank, towards Family Bank, with the intention of going to Biashara Street. And the road that I was crossing was one way. Cars were only supposed to come from the left side. So I looked on that side, the road was clear, and being a Saturday, traffic was also very slow. But no sooner had I gotten my foot on that road than a car came from the right side, meaning the wrong side, at a very high speed. And because the driver was driving very fast, it took some time for him to stop. So this whole time, he was dragging me on the tarmac. When the car stopped, I fell down, but I stood up, I think in shock and in the confusion of the moment. And by then, the driver had already come to where I was, and a crowd was also quickly starting to form. And the crowd was asking for my phone number, my name, and also taking down the registration details of that car, because they said that if they were going to follow up with me. So that if this guy didn't take me to the hospital, they were going to take up that case with him. Some started to tell me to ask for 50,000, 100,000, 150,000 in order to let this guy go. It became very heated. And I think the driver, sensing danger, told his wife to move from the co-driver seat, move to the back, so that I would get into the car and then we drive to the cop station. Because he said that if we didn't do that, his car was going to be burnt down. By this time, the side mirror was hanging on a thread. It was almost out. And the passenger's door was completely smashed. The impact had been very big. It's a miracle that I survived. So we drove to the cop station, and the only question that I had for this driver was why he had been driving on the wrong side. And he said that he was sorry. He was rushing to Eldoret. They had left late. His wife and his children were crying at the back, asking me to forgive their dad because they didn't want their dad to go to jail. A very emotional moment. We got to the cop station. The matter was recorded in the OB. And the cop asked me what it is that I wanted. I told him I didn't want anything. I just wanted to go home. He asked me, you didn't want to... He asked me whether I wanted to be taken to the hospital, but I told him no. I just wanted to go home. The only thing that I think I had on my trouser was some dirt, which I believe was from the time that I fell on the ground. Other than that, I was fine, because I remember walking back to that shop, buying what I had intended to buy, and going home. This driver followed up with me for about 1 to 3 days until I told him to stop following up with me. I was fine, and in case of anything, I was going to let him know. And I also had a medical card, so if I felt sick, I would have taken myself to the hospital. The main idea of this testimony is to thank God for having saved my life that day, because it's a miracle that I survived unhurt. And I believe that is why we are told that just leaving the house in the morning and coming back home alive and well is itself a miracle, which we need to be thankful for. May God bless you.